What's up, guys? Welcome back. We got a classic today. Now, I have made tons of videos reacting to underground music. I have recorded entire concerts. I made a whole docu video on Bones and SESH, but I never really talked about where this all began for me. So I'm gonna be going over all of my embarrassing music phases from 2017 until now. Let's go. So I'm gonna break this down into 3 categories, starting with the dark ages. Now, this is when I was just listening to anything. By anything, I mean anything. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, this was a dark time. So the second category is the Renaissance. Now, this started, I'm gonna say, like 2019, 2020 was when this began. This was when my music taste got a little better. Like, I was getting there. We have the Enlightenment period, which is the current time what I'm listening to today. So stay tuned and let's go ahead and break these down. Don't worry, I'm not about to start yapping too much about SoundCloud, but I gotta go back to where this started. So 2017 is where this all began for me. This was like the height of all the SoundCloud wave. Like, you just couldn't escape it. It was everywhere. Now, of course, SoundCloud was popping way before 2017, but I hadn't caught on till then. So that's where we starting at. So yeah, I feel like it was being pushed really, really heavy that year. Like, even if you didn't care about anything to do with SoundCloud rap, you were forced to hear about it. You knew about somebody. You heard something. It was everywhere. Now, at first, I wasn't trying to mess with it. I know they had, like, some people were starting to already go mainstream by that point. Like, Lil Yachty, Uzi, Cardi, all of them. They were kind of going up by that point. But I was ignoring it straight up, like, as much as I could at first, but eventually I did get reeled into it. So I'm about to explain how that kind of happened. So this was the fall of 2017. I had this friend send me a link to a Lilpeep song, and it was the video to Awful Things. And look, y'all, I'm talking from the perspective of how I felt back then and not now, so keep that in mind. Just for some background information so you can understand why this is so embarrassing, y'all, I was 12 years old. Young Rosa in the building, so keep in mind I was a kid, right? So I was going through this period where all I wanted to listen to was 2000s pop punk rock, whatever you want to call it. That little Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance stuff. That was all like eventually it did turn into some metal too, and like Marilyn Manson and all of that weird, like, I don't want to call it weird, but that's what I was listening to back then. Any other type of music other than that, I did not want to fuck with it at all. Like, I did not want to listen to none of that. So I basically hated anything to do with any genre outside of that. I wanted to be different so bad with my weirdness. So when I saw this Lilpeep music video, I'll admit, I liked his look. Like, I thought the look was there, but the music, when I heard Awful Things, it was like, it was something that I gave a chance, and then I forgot about it after I listened to it. Like, I was like, yeah, this I'm not rocking with this, really. You know, I went and clicked on some other stuff from him too after he sent me that, and I was like, I was kind of confused because it's like he's rapping, but he has all these sad lyrics. And like, he's kind of singing, and it's a little alternative, but he's doing it over a rap beat. So I was like, what the hell type of mixture is this? Because I had never heard of that before he sent me this. I had never heard of people really like mixing that together, like rap, emo, singing. You know what I'm saying here. But of course I had heard of, like, because in nu metal they kind of do it, like, I don't know, Fred Durst, he would be singing and rapping at the same time, and I thought that was a little weird, but I had never heard of the modern version of it, the emo rap that was going on in this year. So that was my introduction to it all, and I was confused. So I'm not gonna lie, the first time I heard Awful Things, I kind of brushed Peep off. I was like, yeah, this ain't it for me. I was like, nah, I'm gonna stick to my bands that people stopped listening to in the 2000s. I'm good, you can keep that over there. So I got sent that Awful Things video, I want to say it was like the end of October, and then, like, dead ass 3 weeks later, the news comes out that Lil Peep died. And like, so I remember I was scrolling on Instagram. This was a Friday. I just got home. I was like going on Instagram. I kept seeing all of these RIP Peep posts. And so I was like, that name sounds kind of familiar. So I went to go search him up. And I was like, bruh, ain't no fucking way. I got kind of curious because people just kept posting about him and talking about how great his music was and how much of an impact he made. So I was like, okay, maybe I should like go search him up and like click on some more stuff, see what's going on. So I was watching all these different, just random different videos of Peep and like just random songs and stuff. And so I came across this song, Falling For Me, and I was like, wow, I actually kind of like that. That song doesn't even scratch the surface of some top tier Peep songs, so you can imagine. But so I was like, dang, okay, maybe I was tripping. So I went through his discography. I was just going through like clicking random songs. I wasn't sitting down listening to full albums or anything, but I was definitely going through and like listening to different songs from him. So really what I think it is with me, I get stuck in my ways. I'm the type of person where you try to put me on to something and it's gonna take me a long time to get into it, because when I'm used to my things that I like, I don't like giving other things a chance. Like, I'm very stubborn when it comes to that. So you're gonna see this a lot throughout this video, where I just get stuck in my ways and like I end up missing out on an era or like missing out on an artist's peak of their career because I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not ready to listen to that yet. So you're gonna be seeing that a lot. I was late to the Peep party. I was so late, and it took the man leaving this earth for me to realize, like, shit, I missed out. But you guys gotta remember, this was my first time listening to any type of SoundCloud rap. I was not trying to listen to anything to do with rap, y'all. I wanted to be on bands only. So I was being very stubborn. That's all it really came down to. So it probably wasn't until, I want to say, like the spring of 2018, kind of those mid to early months, that I really actually began to deeply like Peep's music. And I had a lot to catch up on by this point, y'all. I was going through catching up on who all the members of GBC were. Like, who is this Cold Heart guy? Who is Horsehead? Who is Wicca? Who is Trey? Who are these people? So I'm going through listening to random songs by all these different guys. I'm trying to catch up on the lore, catch up on what the beef was. I'm sitting here looking up shit on Reddit. I'm like, what the hell do you mean Too Poor was snorting coke off niggas' dicks? Like, what's going on? Like, this shit was fascinating to me. I'm like, this shit became a movie to me. Like, I'm just going through, catching up on all this crazy stuff that was going on when I wasn't in that scene. So this was all like new news to me, going through all this stuff. You know what? I ended up getting super infatuated with Lil Tracy specifically, y'all. Look, man, every time I listen to a Peep and Tracy collab, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like Tracy was doing his shit. Like, he was going in. Like, I would be low-key skipping certain parts just so I could get to Tracy's part. Like, dang, he had it. Almost every single Peep collab, I want to say my favorite parts were Tracy's verse, for sure. Like, Tracy used to be going stupid on the features. I'm talking stupid. So because I like Tracy's features so much, I went and listened to some of his solo songs, and that was a whole nother ball game. Now, his solo stuff, and like, this was 2018 again, so his solo stuff wasn't the way that it was back when he was recording music with Peep, of course. So it was like completely different from what I was hearing on the feature. So it kind of threw me off when I heard it. So this was when he was releasing songs like Alexander McQueen, Like a Farmer, Lil Whore, like just putting out little goofy stuff. But yeah, I still like Tracy. That's definitely one of my favorites still. But yeah, I still listen to Peep and Tracy now. Obviously not as much as I did back then. And I also do go back and like try and find songs that I might have overlooked too when I was first getting into it. And like, it'll be a song that's like well known within the fan base that for some reason I just never got to, and like I'll rediscover things that were released years ago, and it's so amazing because it's like people have been listening to a certain song for years, and here I am experiencing it for the first time. So that's something I really do kind of like about me being stubborn. Like I get to experience stuff for the first time. Like I don't be overdoing it. So, but yeah, if anybody wants to get into Peep, listen to that Lilpeep Part 1 album. That joint is fire. Like if you into that chill, like sad wave stuff, you don't want to listen to all that hoopling and hollering, you just want to listen to that chill stuff, you want to get a vibe, listen to Lilpeep Part 1. But that kind of concludes the little introduction to Peep and GBC and all of that stuff. Now we gonna go into 2018. 2018 was a fun year, but I do gotta admit something embarrassing, because we cannot skip over the embarrassing parts to the journey. We just can't sit on here and lie like that. So I'm about to ruin my whole career with this one. I'm not gonna lie. The whole career, whole channel, everybody about to unsubscribe, but it is what it is. So in 2018, I was a Lil Xan fan. Yeah. Now, I want to say I'm not about to go in and just start hating on him, because that's weird stuff. I never agree with like bashing people, but that's weird to me. I don't do that. But I do hope he's doing good today. I see he's sober now. That's good news. So we not about to go in here and clown people. That's lame. But I do not listen to him anymore. This was like a weird phase. Again, I was young. So 2018. This is even more this is the most embarrassing part, y'all. I ran a fan page for this dude. And this fan page actually was doing good. Like I gained 4,000. I was close to 5,000 followers in 6 months of having that account. And what's weird about it is like his mom ended up following me, and I was like, we were like DMing each other. It was the weirdest thing ever. I wish I still have the account, but I kind of wiped everything off of it. Like it still exists. I could go back and find stuff, but I'm sitting here messaging this man's mom like I actually know who these people are. Like what was going on? So one thing that I actually did back then was I used to start these really big group chats, and I would just add random people that I knew were into SoundCloud, rap, whatever you want to fucking call it. And then I would also just add random people that made music, like not even like super big artists or anything. Sometimes I did add people that were already on, but sometimes I would just add like random people that had maybe a couple thousand followers on SoundCloud, like just random dudes, like random even underground people. And so I would just have these random ass group chats, right? And then one day, Hella Sketchy responded, like he was legit up in the group chat. And so the reason he ended up responding was because at the time I put Diablo in there, and Diablo was like in that Lil Xan friend group, whatever. So I was just adding random people from that group in there. Diablo actually joined, and he was in there. He would talk sometimes randomly. And so because of that, back then the way Instagram worked was when somebody makes a group chat, if one person accepts a group chat request, then another person that person follows was added to the chat, it will automatically go straight to that person's DM. Random people that I knew listen to them, I would be like, hey, like I could add you to this group chat. I got Sketchy in there. Another thing that happened in 2018 was my introduction to City Morgue. Go back to how I found City Morgue. So basically, I was internet friends with this guy that used to make his own trap metal music. And I thought his shit was hard. Like he was actually the first like trap metal artist that I listened to. He doesn't make music anymore, I don't think. I can't even find him anywhere. But so he ended up telling me about City Morgue. That was how I found him. He told me about him. And so I went on SoundCloud and I listened to Bum Bucket. That was the first City Morgue song I heard, and immediately loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like this mixture of, they're rapping but they're screaming, so like they have so much aggression you can just let out listening to them. That caught my attention so much. Like it was just, even like, I like, one thing I really like to do, guys, I love walking, And so this was perfect walking music for me. That's like my favorite type of exercise to do, is to just walk. So I would always be looking for new music to listen to while I walk. And when I listen to City Morgue, I'm burning calories. Like, I be walking crazy. Like, I want to see what I look like when I'm walking and I'm listening to them. I know I be looking like a crackhead. So from the beginning of 2018 until the summer, it was the whole Goth Boy Clique, X Peep, all of that stuff, City Morgue, whatever. Then, wow, now that I said it out loud, that combination is very unhinged. But starting in the fall of 2018 is where it started to get real, like real. So I was on YouTube one day, and shout out YouTube back then, because they used to always be recommending the bangers. They don't be doing that too much now no more, but back then they was recommending the bangers and the recommendations. Like, you log on to YouTube on screen, you was gonna find something. So one day I log on, and there are hella Bone songs on the home screen. I'm talking 10 Bone songs on the home screen, back to back, as if I was like watching Bones videos or something, and they recommended me that because I was already listening to them or something. Like, this dude's face was literally all on my home screen last. So I'm like, God damn, this must be like a sign for me to go ahead and listen to this, whoever this guy is. So like, I went ahead, clicked on it, I listened to this song, and I felt like I had gotten all the answers to the universe. I felt like I just found some super esoteric knowledge. Like, I felt so amazed when I heard this man's music. I don't like keep up with him that much anymore. Definitely still one of my absolute favorite artists. Along with him and all the other guys that were in SESH too. They definitely captured some great music. I specifically have really good memories with this one song. It was called What Could Possibly Go Wrong. It came on one day. This was when I was starting at this new school, and I was waking up at the ass crack of dawn every day to get up, catch the bus. And for some reason this year, it was raining so much. Like, it was raining dead ass every single day, nonstop, all day long. So this is one of those days where it's cold, it's gloomy outside, it's raining. I'm about to get on this bus to go to some fuck ass place. And I'm sitting here like, bruh, this shit is depressing. And so this song, What Could Possibly Go Wrong, starts playing, right? And I hear,
and all I have to do is a little twiddling down here, and now what do you see?
You're turning into a skeleton.
Yes.
And I just felt so much comfort in that. I can't even describe the way hearing that song for the first time, and that sample going off, whatever you want to call it, and the way that made me feel in that moment with like what was going on around me, like the scenery, the way I was feeling, like, bruh, like, I'm not trying to deal with this shit today. Hearing that, it was so comforting. Because let me tell you guys something. I'm not even joking when I'm about to say this. I went to Miller Grove. Middle School for like my last year. This was 8th grade. I was going to Miller Grove Middle, and then I also did go to Miller Grove High School for like the first semester. Then I had to leave that shit because like it wasn't the vibe. You can imagine like that on top of like how I was already feeling, like the fucking meme, this shit only happens at Miller Grove, or he reading a book at Miller Grove. I felt like the most different person in the world. Like, obviously now I can look back and be like, yeah, girl, like you doing a lot right now. Like, just listen to your music and stop trying to be different. But I did feel very different at that time, because I mean, really think about this. What other black girl, like look bro, I'm not trying to sound like a fucking like a snowflake, like I'm the most different person in the world, but what other black girl 13 at Miller Grove was listening to Bones? That shit don't even sound right. Like, literally in my own little world at that time. Like, I did not relate to nobody else around me. I didn't know nobody that listened to the same music that I listened to. Like, I didn't feel weird. Like, I felt like the other people around me was weird, because it's like, brother, like, y'all be looking at me crazy like I'm doing something wrong. I'm just being me. But yeah, I was definitely a super outcast growing up. I didn't have a lot of friends. I still don't have a lot of friends. I'm still learning how to talk, y'all. Like, for a long time, I didn't even used to talk, guys. Like, people used to tell me they didn't even think I could talk. Like, it was bad. But I'm growing so much, guys. Like, doing YouTube helps a lot. Sitting here talking on the camera, it helps a lot. Connecting with you guys helps a lot. You guys recommending me music too, that helps so much, because it's like there's other people out here like me. That's why I started doing music related content, was because I wanted to find people that were like me, that liked the same things that I liked, because I couldn't find people that liked the things that I liked. I've always felt like I was put in a box away from other people. Like, other people didn't like what I liked. I would tell people what I liked and they would be like, what is that? Like, I don't like that, I don't listen to that. So like, when I found you guys and you guys were telling me you like this and you want me to listen to this and react to that, I was like, wow, like, there's other people out here just like me, man. So shout out to you guys. Hey guys, I'm still salty to this day that YouTube buried my Bones video. Like, let me tell y'all something, right? I went on YouTube Studio and there was this little page that I clicked on. I forgot what it's called, but there was this page that I clicked on, and it basically showed me videos that they were recommending my video under. And this pissed me off. Like, I think I stopped making videos for a while after that because it pissed me off that bad. They were recommending my Bones video to people that made music related to like Lil Baby, Lil Durk, 21 Savage. Like, what? Who the fuck listening? I'm not okay. Look, people listen to wide ranges of music. Don't get me wrong. Like, I listen to Lil Durk too. Like, who gives a fuck? But at the same time, the market audience for people watching Lil Baby videos wouldn't be to put Bones related content in that area, if you get what I'm saying. So they were like recommending it to weird videos. Like, even one video wasn't even related to music at all. It was like one of those cringy ass lick my body challenge, tickle me at 3 a.m. like those little weird Darman videos. They were recommending my video under that, and because of that, like, they were actually pushing it heavy. So they were like sending it out to hella videos, right? Just weird ass videos that didn't have nothing to do with the video. And so like, it gained a ton of views because of that, right? So people would like click on it just because it was being pushed, and then they would like immediately click off because it wasn't related to those videos. And so it ended up getting hella views, but it was like basically still buried. Like, people weren't actually watching it. And then one day I wake up and YouTube sends me an email saying, we have age restricted your video because of, like, I think it was hate speech or something, which doesn't even make sense. Like, what is hate speech about talking about a random emo rapper? Like, what are you talking about right now? Bones was one of those earlier people on the channels that I did the video with my sister with. And that was also around the time I was doing those like Cray and all those other dudes, Wolf, Chris. Yeah, that was an era. That was an era for sure. Good era on YouTube for me. Like Bones and all of them, Chris. They still hitting. Going into 2019, this year was crucial. Now, it did start off a little sketchy, but it gets better as we go on. So one person I remember discovering in the spring, that was Nascar Aloe. When this guy popped up, his image stood out so much that you couldn't miss him. And that's another one of those things where I found him through the YouTube home screen. Like, I just went on YouTube and that Freddy Krueger freestyle video was being pushed so heavy. Like, it deadass wouldn't leave my home screen. Like, even after I listened to it, they deadass wouldn't stop recommending it to me. This guy, he had the Liberty spikes. They were bleached, so he had his shit looking like that Dragon Ball Z character. Casually began listening to him. I did really like that album, Shithead. That one was pretty lit. I liked it. But yeah, he had some notable things like Up and Stuck, I Don't Dance, Stop Pissing Me Off. What's another one? American Wasteland. Not the full album, but that song American Wasteland, that was hitting. I think the last time that I really actually listened to him though was when he had that ACAB video with Zilla and them. I tried to go back and get back into him, like see what he was up to like sometime last year, and then I couldn't find any. I think he's starting to back up now, so I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another try someday, but I don't know what's going on. But he was definitely somebody I was listening to in 2019. Summer of 2019 is when I got into three really important people, especially as far as this channel goes, because those videos were received so well. Now, I didn't start uploading videos, I think, until 2020. So a year before that was when I began listening to Blade, Young Lean, and Cray. Those three people right there. Now, I really started listening to Lean somewhere around the same time I started listening to Bones, but I still put him in the 2019 category because it's easier to organize the video that way. I was really heavy 2019 into that Sad Boys, Goth Money, Drain stuff. Now, again, this is one of those things where I was put on to this by someone else. So, long story short, this person used to make Drain edits, I guess that's what they call them, I don't know, but he used to post these weird kind of edits, and at first it didn't make sense to me, but it was still eye candy. Like, it was nice to look at, even though I didn't know what it was. Like, I was like, what the hell is this? But it still looked dope. Like, I would just be liking them, like, okay, you know, I kind of like this. I don't know what it is, but shit, it looked nice. So you guys know how those little edits look. Like, it will be a super white shiny image with like weird PNGs over it. So eventually I think he ended up telling me what it was, so I searched it up. I looked up random music videos. It started coming along for me after checking it out. It was kind of slow at first, because I remember like I would click on certain Blade songs or whatever, and at first I would be like, I don't really know about this one, but then I would go back and maybe listen to it again a couple times, and I would really actually start to like it. Like, it was the weirdest thing ever. It's like I would listen to a song and be like, yeah, I ain't feeling this one. And then like I would listen to it again, like, oh shit, yeah, they hitting. But yeah, so I kind of eased my way into that with the popular stuff first, of course. And then I started getting more into random songs too. One song in particular that really stood out for me that made me like think, yeah, these boys lit, was Highway Patrol. It was something about that one Blade lyric, what's your blood type, what does it taste like, that head ass, but that just did it for me. And then it was also that collab with Cray, the Blue Juice. And then when I started making videos and people started giving me recommendations, my love for it expanded even more, because I was getting a wide range of recommendations, like from popular stuff to lesser known stuff to random songs, random features, random collaborators. I was listening to just all random stuff, just a mixture of it all. So I was getting like a broad range. More, I was listening to Ty Boy, Echo, you know, the whole actual Drain group. So it wasn't like I was excluding the others anymore. Like, I was giving the other people a chance as well. Don't even get me started on Ty Boy. Whoever it was that told me specifically about 2C, especially 2C. Thank you, bro. Thank you. But I definitely do feel like Drain and Sad Boy sticks with you. Like, once you start listening to them, I feel like your entire taste, it changes. Like, the way you dress, even Drain Gang in itself, low-key could be a subculture. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, another thing I want to say, that Famous collab still goes crazy. Like, it's still so wild to me how you have all these guys from all these different places in one group. Also, shout out to all the Drainers that used to watch those videos, because you guys were usually super nice. Not all of y'all, because there were some dickheads, not gonna lie, but like the majority of you guys were super sweet to me. Thank you so much. But that's pretty much it for 2019. So going into 2020, I was pretty much just listening to all the same stuff from 2019, you know, Drain, Sad Boys, all of that, right? It wasn't until the end of 2020 that I would say anything notable or worth talking about came up. And the end of 2020 is when a very dark era started. This was when I discovered Cemetery. So again, the same person that used to make those Drain edits was the person that told me about Cemetery. So now again, same thing with the Lil Xan. I know Cemetery is another one of those people that's kind of catching a lot of heat right now, but again, I do not agree with bashing people, so I'm not going to be doing that. Although I don't listen to Cemetery anymore. He was one of those people that I did listen to, so I'm not gonna skip over this part either. All he had out really was Rainbow Bridge 1 and Rainbow Bridge 2, and I was so obsessed with these deep fried images when I had discovered this dude. Like, you know how he edits his pictures, that style, it was intriguing to me when I saw it. But the whole image with the Trueys, the New Rocks, him holding the box cutters, and it would be a super deep fry image, and the Truey jean. Like I hadn't seen anything like that before at that time. Like, of course, like people have been wearing Truey jeans in the past and shit, but like the general aesthetic, like the modern way he put his own spin to it, I hadn't seen that at the time. Like now you see hella random kids, like random 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids deep frying their image with the new rock song. Like you see that shit all the time now. That ain't nothing new no more. But back in 2020, I hadn't seen nobody like on that wave back then. So, and I know people probably about to start bringing up Chief Keef and all that, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like I know back in the day on Instagram, people used to put those like stupid filters on the pictures, like that would make it look deep fried, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like a modern time version of the shit. So you get what I'm saying. Don't be in the comments trolling. As far as the first two Rainbow Bridge projects, not the third one, the first two, I did enjoy them. The first Cemetery song I heard was Tooth Taker, and I really liked it because like it started off slow, you know, it's real chill, like he's singing, then it get into that distortion, you know, and the vocals, you know, it sound crazy a little bit, but you know, you can vibe out to it still. Second song was Arson with Ghost Mountain. I really liked that one too. But yeah, I feel like back then Cemetery did have a good mixture of like soft songs, even though he still had like a little bit of distortion and auto-tune on it. It was still something you could just like chill out and vibe to. Like it was definitely a vibe. And the whole aesthetic of Rainbow Bridge in general was appealing to me too. Like you really got this guy on this goofy ass edit on a bridge with these rainbows in the background and like a picture of a dog. Also, rest in peace to that dog. I think he said the dog passed away. Rest in peace though, because that dog, low key, at the end of the Slaughterhouse video, like the part where he zooms in on the dog, like that was the most iconic thing ever to me. I don't know why it just stood out so much to me. Before all his songs, you had this goofy ass Lucky Charms leprechaun sound effect like playing before the song, and it's like the whole aesthetic of it all was just so like intriguing to me. Like what the heck is this guy on? When he dropped Rainbow Bridge 3, this was when I stopped listening to him because I felt like it was just doing too much. Like this amount of distortion was so insane, I couldn't even really listen to it. Like I might have like 2 or 3 songs off of it, but I felt like it was very different from the first 2 tapes. So after that, I kind of just moved on. But yeah, that's all I have for 2020. That was a pretty simple year. There wasn't much new stuff going on for me. Just listening to the same stuff and then Cemetery at the end. So 2021 was a very bad year for me. It was almost R.I.P. Rosa for a second, I'm not gonna lie. So for the most part in 2021, all I listened to was Boys. And I'm actually gonna have to edit that name out because one time I said it in a video in YouTube, basically claimed I was promoting self-delete. So I'm gonna have to say SB to save face. So don't mind me saying SB, I literally have to, or otherwise the video is gonna get taken down. So what can you do? I had known of SB. I really began listening to them probably in like 2019. But then it's like when I listened to them, I wasn't really feeling it. Because I remember I had clicked on one of their songs, right? And my first impression, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I thought it was corny. Like I didn't like it at all. When I had first heard Ruby, right? And you guys know how Ruby comes on songs, right? He'll be singing but rapping at the same time, and like his style like caught me so off guard. Almost like that Bone Thugs flow, but not Bone Thugs, if you get what I'm saying. Like he would drag his sentences on in his songs. That's how he raps or sings or whatever. And I didn't like that at all at first, which is funny because one of my favorite SB songs is a song where he does that. One time, this was a bad night. I had a bunch of music on autoplay, right? So Demons came on. The song, it was telling all the exact things that I felt. Like as if somebody was putting all of my thoughts, how I felt in that moment, into a song. Like it was literally describing everything that I felt in that moment when that song came on. And that's still one of my favorite SB songs to this day. I replay it so much. I love that song. And then another song that ended up coming on after that is another one of my favorite songs. It's called Clyde. I hope one of my ex-girlfriends hears this. And again, that's another one of those songs that at the time was just like repeating everything that I felt at that moment. That whole year, I was honestly listening to a lot of negative music. If it was negative, I wanted to hear it. Like, I was listening to the most negative SB songs I could possibly find. If it was negative, I was all for it.
I thrive off negativity. Anything negative, I'm for it.
Now, 2022, I didn't listen to much in 2022 either. It wasn't until like the end of November I had jumped onto that opium wave. And what's funny about that is I started listening to Lone and Ken before I even started listening to Cardi. Like, of course I had listened to Cardi before, but I don't know any more than 30 Cardi songs, probably, to be honest. Like, I'm not the biggest Cardi fan ever. I didn't want to get into that whole thirsting for leaks and stalking the sub for any new information and any new pictures on them. I need to see it. Like, that's not what I was on at all. Like, I kind of ignored Cardi for a while again because I'm stubborn and I didn't want to hop on the wave, so I just let them pass on by. But for some reason, like at the end of 2022 and the whole opium thing was going crazy, like I was like, I'm getting on this. But that opium wave for me, it was short-lived. It probably like died off for me. Like it didn't die off, actually. Let me say this. I stopped listening to Lone in April of last year. But Ken, I still listen to Ken. I think his shit is fire. And if I'm being honest, don't hate me for this, but I feel like Ken, in a lot of ways, is surpassing Lone right now. I don't know what's been going on. I don't know what Lone doing, but Ken has been it for a minute these past couple months, I'ma say. Like, his music is everywhere right now. Now we're gonna go into the enlightenment stage, which is 2023 till now. So basically just what I was listening to last year. 2023 was pretty experimental for me. This was when I started listening to Izaya, the whole plug stuff, and then also randomly I started listening to like Lucki. I definitely started liking Lucki too, guys. And I also got into Baby Smooth. Baby Smooth, favorite rapper, honestly. Favorite rapper. I'ma just put that out there. Baby Smooth is my favorite rapper. And then one day randomly I started listening to KanKan. Y'all, I was so late to that party, bro. But again, that's because I'm stubborn. I'm literally catching up on stuff that's been out for 5 or 6 years and it's all new to me. So that was 2023 for me. It was a lot of plug stuff. I also tried getting into that Xavier So Bass wave. That whole Joey Shed Theory stuff too, like, but that was kind of short-lived. I do still listen to Izaya, KanKan. I started listening to a little bit of Summrs too. Just all the people you would expect. There was a lot more people that I wanted to mention, but for the sake of organization, I couldn't get to every single little person. This video would go on forever, so I think I hit the main bullet points that I wanted to touch on. But that's pretty much all I had for today. Some embarrassing moments have been brought up in this video, but we all been there. We all got that one artist that we wouldn't dare play at the function. We all got that one person. Don't act like you don't. But I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me rant about all of my hyperfixations. Definitely got more videos on the way. Keep looking out for them. I'm in my grind mode right now. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in another video. Peace.